All right, hello everybody. We are live with a late episode of Flecking Hallsome Breakdown, talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 2, The Star Spangled Man with a Plan. Just called The Star Spangled Man. So we start, as usual, with the breakdown, and then we'll hop into discussions about everything we noticed and wanted to talk about for this episode. So we start this episode with a background about John Walker. He's sitting in some high school locker room, looking over his old high school football locker. His apparently wife, that we learned off camera, comes in to talk to him, give him a pep talk. He talk about missing old times and whatnot, and then a soldier buddy of his comes in, who we later learn is Battlestar. He also comes in to, ask him, what's it like and how you feeling about everything, and what's it like being Captain America. And then we get, thank you for the 8 bits. Then we get start the show with the Marvel intro, with the Captain America theme, Star Spangled Man theme, put to music and marching band. John running up the field, getting ready to do his Good Morning America interview. And in this interview, goes on to talk about, what an inspiration Cap was for him, how he feels he can be like Cap, and Cap was basically a brother to him, which, kind of pisses off Sam and Bucky. So we see, after that whole interview, we cut to Sam, who's looking at a poster. He's back, or Cap is back. The Cap is back poster with John on it, in an airport or wherever, a hangar or something. Joaquin comes up. They have a conversation about how he feels about John, and then they are getting ready to hop on a plane to go take down a group of flag smashers. And Bucky comes in and talks to him with his very pertinent line of, "You shouldn't have given away the shield," which we will then go on to hear like 6 more times in that episode.
Definitely thought you were going to say his pertinent line of, "I read The Hobbit."
I read. Yeah, Bucky's a fucking nerd. Or I read The Hobbit when it first came out. What a fucking nerd. No. Then we get the discussion of, the big 3 that was in the trailer, the promo footage, talking about androids, aliens, or wizards. And now a big 4 with super soldiers. We're learning that the flag smashers could be a vein of super soldiers, similar to Bucky and Cap. Steve Cap, not John Cap. Sorry, I got gobbledygook in my throat. So they get on the plane. Bucky's trying to get, talking about, what's the plan? What's the plan? Sam's like, "Oh, I have a plan." Doesn't tell him the plan. They argue about that. Sam jumps out of the plane. He can fly. Bucky goes to jump out and says, "Where's the parachute?" And Joaquin says it's too low. They're about 200 feet off the ground. So Bucky just says, "I don't need it anyway." Jumps out and lands on his arm. Okay, cool. He can just jump out of a plane with his vibranium arm now. So they meet up in this flag smasher warehouse, or wherever these, they see flag smashers getting supplies, loading up a truck. Sam thinks that there might be a hostage in the back of a truck. So they chase down the trucks, have a nice fight. On the back of the 2 trucks, John and Battlestar join in. They all get their asses kicked, and we get a Bucky and Sam walking down a road, talking about, I'm sorry about Red Wing. Red Wing got smashed during this fight. And then a military jeep comes up with John and Battlestar. I can't remember Battlestar's actual name.
Battlestar.
Okay, Battlestar.
Born and raised Battlestar.
Yeah, so
I'll find it.
But yeah, Cap and Battlestar in the back of the truck saying, "Hey, you guys, you need help. We think this might be the big 3." Calling back to Sam, saying it might be the big 3. Which I don't. Is that just a government term now, the big three. I don't know what that was about.
Battlestar's name is Hoskins, Lamar Hoskins.
Lamar Hoskins. Thank you. Yep. Yeah. So they begrudgingly hop in the truck trying to discuss. John's trying to tell them, we need to work together. What's your guys' plan? What do you know? Let's work together. We can't do this alone. Really trying to insert himself into this team, making them work with him. And sorry, I got a subscription and it threw me off. Eventually it gets to the point Bucky's kind of just like, you're not Steve, you'll never be Steve, you don't deserve to be Captain America. They get out and go to Sam and Bucky go to Baltimore, where they meet Isaiah. Isaiah Bradley, right?
Yep.
Okay, got that one right. I remembered that one. Isaiah Bradley being the Black Captain America. Bucky had said he had fought him in his past, and Isaiah says, if you mean by found, he says he found him. If you mean by found, he means I whooped your ass, and took your arm, and I can see you managed to grow it back. So, but there's a lot, yeah. So they go on talking about, he talks about how he doesn't want to talk about the super soldier program. The country went on to forget about him, never talked about him. They didn't know what he did. And Sam gets upset by this. Bucky never told Cap, never told anybody. Why did no one ever hear about a Black Captain America until now? So that was a big thing for this episode. As well as they're arguing in the street, cops come up trying to arrest Sam because he thinks he's causing a problem. So this episode was very hitting with racial issues. The whole series will be, obviously the last episode was too. The whole series, I feel, is gonna try to hit those issues. Probably not too much, but it's definitely touching on them. But Bucky ends up being the one arrested for missing his court-mandated therapy with Dr. Rayner. So he's in jail. We cut to that scene of him in the prison. Dr. Rayner's there. Sam, introduces himself, says, "Hey, thank you for getting him out." She's like, "That's not me." And in comes our golden boy, John Walker, walking in. Whatever, Christine, I think. Like, "Hey, Christine!" So apparently they know each other. But John,
she did say that she served with him.
Yeah, they ran ops together, I think is what she said. But John got Bucky out and basically ended his court mandated therapy so that he has more free time to work with John, so that John can work with him and Sam more frequently and actually do something. Christine doesn't like this. Dr. Rayner doesn't like this and says, "You know what? End of your terms of your release meeting right now. Sam, you too." And so we get the nice couples therapy scene of Bucky and Sam, also in the trailer footage, but it was so good. And I just have to say that Sam grabbing Bucky just to pull him in closer, I lost it. I cracked up so hard about that. But we get a nice couples therapy that goes on. A touching moment of, Bucky kind of opening up more and saying, if you didn't think you deserved the shield, you thought, you're thinking Cap's wrong. And if Cap's wrong about you, he's wrong about me. Because Steve was the only one to, believe in Bucky, that Bucky could be good. So it was a nice moment between the two of them. That it's immediately thrown back out the window and it's like, all right, we're going to take long vacations and never see each other again because I hate you. And I'm like, okay. And we're back. They end that. The two of them walk out, talk to John Walker, more arguing, basically saying, we need to work together. Sam saying, no, we're free agents. We don't work with the government. We have more freedom. We don't have to, follow the rules of engagement like you do. And then John throws out well, if you're not going to work with me, then you're my enemy. only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Well, not quite.
No, he says, stay out of my way. If you're not working with me, then stay out of my way. But I'd like to think it was the Anakin line. And then Sam and Bucky are talking. He brings up again how Isaiah mentioned my people, Bucky talking about his people, talking about how Zemo now is the only person who knows anything about the Hydra program, and he can help them. He can help figure out where these other super soldiers are, since he knew about Siberia. And then we see Zemo actually in the prison. This is our first look at Zemo since Civil War. And that is how the episode ended.
Flag smashers.
Oh yeah, thank you. We went over this before the episode, so I didn't forget anything. I promise you. Yes, the flag smashers. They got away, so we see them at an airport trying to leave, loading up all their supplies to get on a plane. One of the flag smashers says something about they're coming. The power brokers are coming. And I'm gonna give you more time. So he runs out, trying to stop whoever this group of people are, trying to stop them from, getting the plane, getting the supplies, getting the flag smashers, whatever. And then Carly, the leader of the flag smashers, that girl, she makes a call and says they got away, but we don't know who that call went out to, who was on the other end of that line. And then we get the Zemo stuff, and then the episode's over.
All right. I'm gonna start this with my heavy hitter off the bat. So some leaked material. There's always speculation with leaked material, but it was recently released. Okay, let me rephrase. So, like I said with WandaVision, it's trying to set up in a position to where if they left from Avengers Endgame and go right into the next movie, they wouldn't be completely lost. They know kind of what's happening. They know WandaVision, like Wanda left, and now she's doing some spooky shit. So, along that same line of logic, we see Captain America give Sam the shield, and we're like, oh, Sam's Captain America. So that's where we're at the end of Endgame. So this leaked material were action figures for Falcon and Winter Soldier. So we have Bucky and his buckiness, and then we have Sam Wilson in a box titled Captain America in his comic book Captain America Falcon armor and wings. So I think by the end of this, we'll have Captain America Sam.
Captain America Bucky. The Winter
Captain
America.
Falcon. The Winter America.
The Winter America.
So that's just my borderline where I think we're gonna hit at the end of the series.
I think they're hinting at that as well, because we did get the little line of after Sam gave it away, Bucky says something like, well, let's steal it. Let's go steal it. And then Sam's like, you know what happened last time we did that? We were on the run. The Infinity War happened. Dumbass. So, but yeah, I think they're leading up to that. And obviously too, we've seen trailer footage of Sam throwing that shield around. The shield so
at his house in New Orleans.
Right. That is literally the only thing of trailer footage that did not make it into this episode. Everything else was in this episode. So it's kind of interesting then to see what's going to happen with the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm. And then following that line of like the shield and where it's going, where it's been, so we see that John Walker has the shield when he's first announced, and we know from the Good Morning America interview that he has been training. That's the one thing I didn't really understand, is because like the footage made it seem like he's been training for a long time, but in the footage he's seen throwing the shield.
That shield,
like he wouldn't have gotten it unless it was just like a practice shield, because they were. But basically, what I'm trying to say is the government never had intentions of putting the shield in the Smithsonian. They were trying to get it from Sam so they could give it to John Walker, and I think that's messed up. But then. Go ahead. Well, we're gonna keep following John.
Well, hold on. I was gonna say too, because like you said, it doesn't make sense, because we've seen Sam give them the shield, We didn't get a clear timeline on when that was, though, did we? Like,
I assumed it was just
I assumed it
right
was the
after
same
the other.
day, but or like
Because I
same,
mean, they
same
could have
week or
like
something.
gotten it and then shot like promo footage for the
That's
interview.
that's
That
true.
that makes
That's
sense
true.
in my head.
Yeah.
But also like going with that is they have been planning for him to be Captain America for so long because we see people in the audience with action figures of him and his outfit
Yep.
and stuff. And like, unless there's just a continuity error with Marvel where they're like, oh, people would be really excited he's there, they'd have action figures and not thinking like, oh, it takes months to put this stuff through all the phases of production.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. We're obviously they're screwy with timelines. I just didn't think it would be this show that got screwy
Yeah,
with it.
Captain Falcon. That's what I'm going with.
Captain Falcon.
But so we have John Walker and Battlestar, and they're doing their thing, and like we understand that John Walker's a little off the rails. He's not entirely there. But during his interview, he makes a point to say, I'm not rich like Tony Stark. I'm not strong like Dr. Banner. It's just stuff along those lines. But he's backed by the entire US government. This man could buy anything he wants.
Yep.
He only said, "Hey, get Bucky out of jail." Like, okay, thank you, Captain White Privilege. And and so like there's obviously that. And then there's a lot of like, oh, he's hiding that he had the super soldier serum put in him and stuff. And I don't know. I don't think he did. I could see it happening, but I don't think he would be hiding it because, like, yeah, for the people, I could see him hiding it. But they made a point of noting that, like, when he did his first physical tests and everything he did in general was off the charts.
Right.
So, like,
it's kind of the same situation as Cap. Like he was already good at certain things before getting the serum. So John, yeah, he probably doesn't have the serum. He is just already good.
yeah.
Yep.
The only difference is that he's actually strong. But
Yeah, he's not.
during the fight on top of the trucks, we see him struggling pretty bad to get like to do a pull up,
Mhm.
which that's another thing. Like I understand moving truck, blah blah blah, but in the sense of him being Captain America, it's either he's not as strong as we think he is, or he's purposely like playing it down so people don't get suspicious while he's still starting. But that's also like, why would you play it down in an actual life and death situation?
Right.
Another big thing is we see him use a gun, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, he used a gun. I hate him." But like Captain America has used guns, but
Yeah.
the whole point is that Captain America didn't come with a gun. He was given a gun to use. Like in Avengers, he was cornered. He didn't have a shield with him, so he was using it to defend himself. And then when he chose this, like in the comics and everything, Captain America, he was like, they were like, "Yeah, you need to pick a symbol." And the government was like, "Hey, pick a gun. Pick a gun. Guns are good." Yeah, military. And then he's like, "No, I want a shield because I'm defending America, not attacking on behalf of." So then we get this dynamic that John Walker has a shield, but he's choosing to use a gun instead of his shield. It's not oh, I don't have my shield.
Yep.
So that just tells us a little more about this man
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I'm kind of still on the fence. Like I said to you kind of off camera, like character wise, he seems goofy. Like he's all right a little bit, like, but I'm so used to Chris Evans and the stoic Captain America that having this guy who's very much like high school jock, hasn't grown out of his high school glory days, which is literally shown in the first scene. Just chummy, goofy kind of guys. Like, I don't know quite that I like that.
This episode, I think they are doing a good job to make you understand where he's coming from. Like he doesn't want to replace Captain America. He just wants to be the next one. He's doing his best to get Sam and Bucky to like be a part of his team, but you still get that sense of ulterior motives because he tells Sam, he's like, "Yeah, the government is tracking Red Wing. That's government property." So it's almost like he's trying to be in control of them rather than work with them. And he even makes a point of saying, I need captains like sidekicks on my team
Mm-hmm.
because they're driving in the truck. Trey explained that, and then just like going into it a little deeper, he's like Bucky. He doesn't like him to begin with. He's like, this dude's trying to replace my boyfriend, and and then so Bucky is like already off, and Sam, you can tell Sam wants to like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't have anything against him. But then he makes that comment. He's like, it'd look really good if I had Captain America's sidekicks on my team. And then Sam, he says something along the lines of, it's always that last
line.
sentence.
Yeah.
And then he just walks away. I thought that was pretty good. But like, I don't know. I almost feel bad for him, but I know he's not gonna be a good guy. Like they're building this rift on purpose. Maybe not good or bad, but
he's an antagonist for sure, but I don't think he's a bad guy. I like because we've got Zemo and the Flag Smashers in this show. Like
so
honestly I think it's gonna get to a point that he will step down. I don't think it's gonna be fighting from Sam and them. I think it's just gonna be like we get to the end of the series and he's like, you know what, you deserve this. Another person saying like you deserve to be Captain America. He wanted
like
you to have this.
The idea.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what's going to happen.
That's a good theory. I like that. That would make the most sense. But at the same time, because we know it's 6 episodes, we know in the trailers that that Falcon gets it. That would mean he would either step down before the first episode, or maybe he dies. He could get killed.
Yeah, because I mean, again, going back with what you're saying, like, and obviously like the merch, but also, you know, going from Endgame or Far From Home into whatever this next movie is like you said with WandaVision. We can't do anything too drastic like having U.S. Agent Captain America as an Avenger now. They
could just get rid of him.
Right. So it's like we see Endgame, you know, with that idea that Sam is now Captain America. That's, you know, for people who aren't going to watch the Disney Plus shows, that's what we have to go on to for the movies. So that's, yeah,
I like that. So then we meet the character of Isaiah Bradley, and he essentially replaced Captain America. Like Captain America was the first super soldier. That's like his big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they lost this government weapon. They're like, well, damn, don't really want to mess up other people. Yeah. So it's really
where was Thunderbolt Ross to give them the 300 megaton nuke story?
From like a historical standpoint, I think it was kind of based on I don't remember the name of it, but there was like a period in time where doctors were like testing like vaccines for syphilis on African American communities, like actual history, not comic book history, and they were giving them placebos just to see the long-term side effects of what syphilis did to people. And that's like it's all building up on this like the fucked up history of how the government treats African American communities. And so I think like comic book wise, they were experimenting on African Americans to see when the serum would work and stuff. And Isaiah was the lucky one. And so he was the secret Captain America in the 50s and so on. And yeah, he had all this like stuff of they didn't care about me. I'm living in garbage now, blah, blah, blah. But it's also did a good job of introducing us to his, it's his grandson.
His grandson, Eli
Bradley, who's the Patriot in the Young Avengers.
I was like, going back to the Young Avengers, obviously we've seen Wiccan and Speed. Now we get Eli Bradley. We know there's an Ironheart coming. We're getting Young Avengers. Now it's just a matter of time.
The only difference is we know Eli is real.
I mean, that's obviously from the Madness, Doctor Strange, but yeah. But Eli right now is real and tangible.
But because of how we were talking about like events of Endgame, I can see them doing this to set up the Young Avengers as a strictly Disney Plus TV show thing. Like that's not going to come outside the bounds of the
at least side. Not right away. Not right away. Yeah.
So yeah, Battlestar, Trey and I we made the mistake of looking ahead at IMDb and how many episodes, got really into it, kind of ruined a character for us. But I will say Battlestar is only credited for did I say one episode? So he's only in episode 2, which I think's a little upsetting because we won't see him anymore. But if like John Walker goes on a mission, doesn't have a sidekick, that's how he dies.
I was gonna say
like
it's
that.
kind of cementing that idea that John's gonna die.
But it ruins the theory of in the comics, John Walker and Battlestar. What made that Captain America bad is that they set up like terrorist situations and stuff like that, and Battlestar was like the main organizer of them for Captain America.
Yep.
And that's why they were like introducing him into the show. Like John Walker's working with the Flag Smashers, they're doing this so he can look good. But I really don't think that is. I think they're going to go very off the book for John Walker's character to make it work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Like, we're kind of seeing a little bit of that pseudo heroism, I guess, that like Bucky and Sam actually know, or at least Sam knows about this Flag Smasher issue that's going on, whereas John just, hacked Red Wing. They just looked up Red Wing's GPS, and that's like, oh, they're fighting. We better go do something. So it's kind of that pseudo hero thing that they're pulling there.
And then the whole thing with the power brokers, I
don't know.
I don't really want to get too into that because there is some stuff about the power broker in the comics, and it's like a singular man. But then there's people who are like, "Oh, John Walker's with the power broker," and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's too early to do anything with them. I like all we've gotten from them was a name and some goon cars showed up. That was all we saw. So
I guess I'll go ahead and read whatever this is. It says Curtis Jackson was originally a Machine Man villain created by Roger Stern and Sal Buscema in the late 1970s before he was picked up for the legendary run of Captain America. And he ran a corporation that used super science to give super strength to people for a price. And then that price was indentured servitude in Jackson's pro wrestling promotion. So he ran a business that gave people super serum essentially. But then in the comics, among the people given super strength through his program was D-Man, who I'm not familiar with. And then Shannon Ventura, who was the second Miss Marvel. As well as John Walker and Lamar Hoskins. So, but that's what I'm saying. This is 6 episodes. They can't build much further than they've already laid out. This is going to be figuring out what Zemo, because we know Zemo gets out of jail. We know that that's probably going to happen next episode.
Right, yeah.
And then figuring out what his intentions are. Because, the whole Flag Smasher, their idea is that the world during the blip was good. And that's essentially the government realized they had less people to care about, so they were able to provide better for all these other people because they had so many resources. And now everyone's back, and they essentially forgot about the people who were there and are only trying to focus on getting people who were blipped back to how things were.
Right.
So, I think they're doing a good job at making that understandable. Because they really, we don't know where they got that supplies from. It didn't seem like they were stealing it. It was in a broken down warehouse in the middle of nowhere, and they were just loading it up. We don't know where it's going. We know people are compassionate to the cause because they find housing when this random dude is like, oh yeah, my wife made you guys all this food. You're welcome to stay here. You're doing good. And I don't know. I think they have a lot to explain.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say too, because talking about where are we going from here, we know Zemo's going to get out, like you said, probably next episode. We know Zemo's on Bucky's list of amends he has to make, so that's going to happen. That's probably that whole bullet dropping shot we got from the trailer. But Batroc, what we saw Batroc at the beginning of the first episode on the plane.
He's only credited for 1 episode.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, that's all it was just
okay.
Hey, that's a face we recognize.
Yeah, well then that's really stupid then. I was why bring him back? He was a nameless character in Winter Soldier, and now he's a nameless character in another something of Winter Soldier.
That's strictly there for the fans.
Yeah. But yeah, so I Power Broker's probably going to have something. I mean, this is probably it's the government agency trying to shut them down. Don't know why. It could be
because there is no one credited as an actual like the Power Broker. It's an organization,
right?
And a whole. But we did see Carly get that text message.
Yeah.
And it was like, next time I find you, I'll kill you, or something like that. I don't remember it for sure.
So it's along those lines. Yeah.
Really explained who that was from. John Walker, perhaps.
John Walker. Did that? Yeah, because that came after the fight. So, it's possible. If that's it's possible. I was gonna say too, like I said, it's still too early to really get a gauge on the Power Brokers. But since we know that these are super soldiers, possibly with the actual super soldier serum, this could be a rogue batch of Hydra. This could be just like a splinter faction of Hydra trying to catch their assets.
Well, I mean, in Civil War, when they go, they do see all those shattered glass things. Damn.
Yep.
Yo.
Yep. So
I like that.
Because it's like
with some good ones tonight.
Yeah, because I mean they really hit the super soldier. Like every other scene had mention of super soldier, and the last like 10-20 minutes really hit the Hydra point home. So I really think
they wouldn't have aged like normal people.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I remembered something else I was going to touch on. So according to IMDb, Joaquin Torres he's not going to show up anymore. He was in the first 2 episodes. He's only credited for 2 episodes, and that's really upsetting for me because in the comics, Joaquin Torres was
Falcon,
Captain Falcon's Falcon.
Captain Falcon.
But like in the comics, he was like genetically modified to have a telepathic link, and he was part bird. So like that doesn't make sense. But I mean, they also turned Red Wing into an actual
drone,
like drone.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could handle a human not having bird wings.
I would say, to be fair, the real Red Wing would have been harder to swallow. Sam just has a telepathic link with this hawk or falcon. That doesn't make any sense.
But yeah,
I mean, that's kind of the thing. Is like obviously with stuff we thought was going to happen from that first episode clearly isn't. I mean, at least not right away. Maybe we'll get some kind of Torres will come back in. Another thing, maybe he could be in Civil War, or not Civil War. Black Widow. There could be, since like we know Black Widow was supposed to come out first. There could have been some mention of him in Black Widow, but
I don't know. I think that one's going to be pretty only Black Widow because like we know from the trailers, it's building around all of her family and stuff from Russia. And it looks like the setting is Russia. So I don't know. I think that one's going to be strictly. I think that's why they can get away with pushing it back so far
because
too,
it
has no prevalence to anything else. Because it was supposed to come out after Endgame, but at the same time, she's alive, so we know these events happen before. I'd say before Civil War.
Because
she has her red hair in the beginning, I think.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, that's about the one thing
like
we know.
Iron Man 2.
Like that. Yeah, it gives us that it's before Civil War, and then that's kind of all we've gotten about timeline wise.
I bet it won't even be answered in the actual movie.
I bet we won't even see the actual movie.
She's gonna be like, yeah, this happened. Deal with it. You'll figure out when. We'll tell you when Scarlett Johansson's real life birthday is, and you can figure out the Marvel's timeline from there.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about No Way Home?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I think we're kind of done with this episode. It was
closing remarks.
Yeah. So before, like literally as the episode was starting, this was while the starting soon screen was up. Jared hit me with the fact that what was it, the Far From Home promo.
Twitter Spidey News.
They had posted a wrap up photo set, and one of the photos was like a cast shirt or something that
Yeah,
had
it says film crew on it, I think.
okay, so a film crew shirt that had the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man suit on it.
Yeah, yeah, there's
And
a
obviously,
Spider-Man hanging upside down.
so that's heavy speculation in the beginning that was what was going to happen. That was all rumored. That Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, it was rumored that they were coming. No one ever had anything confirmed. Only rumored, and speculation caught wind because of Jamie Foxx coming back and Alfred Molina coming back, both reprising roles as Electro and Doc Ock, respectively. But we never got confirmation, and we still didn't. But I'm willing to bet one of them, and I would say Andrew Garfield, if he's on the shirt, I'm willing to bet he at least will be in this movie.
Yeah.
Because Doctor Strange is there, and it means we're getting a Spider-Verse. That's the only way this movie makes sense happening.
I would absolutely love for Tobey Maguire to come back, but he's pretty much gone off the rails.
Yeah.
With all the publicity stuff and
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so on this shirt, when you look at it, it says like Spider-Man No Way Home. It looks like some craft. It could just be something for the film crew, and they're like, hey, look at that. But then we see Tom Holland's Spider-Man logo in the background of it, but then that's not his suit. You can tell from the spider and like the lines on the arm that that's Andrew Garfield's suit from Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Oh, you sent it to me, right? Okay, yeah. I got because I didn't actually pull it up. Let me look at it.
Because there's also like hot sauce and other stuff. Because like the actual tweet, it reads, the gifts given to the Spider-Man No Way Home film crew include several references to Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man films. The suits from The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is used on the shirt, and the Raimi Spider-Man font is used on a card. I think that's not really a big deal. But because they've made the choice never to use that font for Tom Holland's, it is kind of like, hey, that could be a thing, because on the stills, that's definitely the Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true. Where was the font that they for Raimi Spider-Man?
So you see the picture with the shirt and the hot sauce and shit?
Yep.
If you click over 2 images, it's there. It's in the bottom left of the full picture. It's like a little sticker or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see it. It's the Spider-Man or stills, whatever.
Stills.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that is the Raimi font.
Where they have Andrew Garfield's suit, the Raimi font, and then on that middle sticker thing, that's definitely the Far From Home Spider-Man suit, or the new one, because I think the new one got leaked or something like that, and it had more black on it. But I don't know, because there's hot sauce, it could definitely just be like the crew had inside jokes and decided to put all this shit on it. But it's more that they have Tom Holland's Spider-Man logo and then Andrew Garfield's suit. That's what's getting me, that they made the conscious decision to do that.
But what if it's just them?
But from a professional standpoint, they're like, oh, we need shirts. Hey, we have this Amazing Spider-Man PNG we could use.
Yeah, like because that was such a popular rumor that the both of them were going to be in it. It's like, hey, let's fuck with them. Let's. Yeah. I'm still tweeting it. I'm still going to retweet
unrelated, but the Suicide Squad trailer got released. If you haven't gotten a chance to go check that out, go look at it.
It did.
I sent that to you.
I did. I watched it.
I think it looks pretty good. It's real funny how they name dropped Kaiju when we've been watching King Kong and Godzilla movies.
I thought that was hilarious. James Gunn did say that's not. It's more of a spiritual sequel to the original and not actually a sequel. So that's why
they named it The Suicide Squad and not Suicide Squad 2.
Yep.
Because like we obviously have Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Because it's like no one knows what's going on with the Zack Snyder universe anymore. Pretty much canned, except they keep still making stuff related to it. So it's like, oh, I don't know. Sure, pump it out. Maybe we'll reset it and never tell anyone.
Did you get a chance to watch the Harley Quinn movie?
Birds of Prey. Loved it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I watched it once, but I enjoyed it. I just like the color in it. It's fantastic. Just like the
Just
cinematography.
vibrant and yeah.
But yeah, in this trailer, like the only ones like Harley Quinn is the
She was
only one, and the Captain. I mean,
yeah.
we see Amanda Waller, but I don't want to get too into it because this is blasphemous to Marvel. But
well,
like we
yeah.
have Bloodspot, whatever his name is. That's kind of
Bloodsport.
taken over Will Smith's Deadshot.
I'm loving Idris Elba just being full on in superhero movies. I'm loving this. Just give me Idris Elba in everything.
John Cena is playing the Captain America parody.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful.
He's
Never
getting
in
his
my
own.
life would I.
He's getting his own
He's getting
show
his own
too.
show. Because for
I've
those of you who haven't watched the trailer yet, there's one scene where Idris Elba's character tells him, because like the whole idea behind John Cena's Captain America parody is that he's super patriotic, but he doesn't have the like, is that right or wrong? He just has, I'll do anything.
yeah.
And Idris Elba, he's like, go eat a bag of dicks. He's like, if this beach was full of dicks and someone told me I had to do it for the liberty of this place, I would do it.
Yeah. It's so
funny.
It's such a funny thing for like 3 seconds of trailer footage. Like I'm so excited for this movie.
Stallone voices
King Shark. Okay, fucking Sean Gunn is in it. Michael Rooker's in it. Michael Rooker was the guy with the bouncy ball. And Sylvester Stallone is in it. This is just fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Polka Dot Man. He's big in superhero movies. I never remember his name, but he shows up all the time.
He's the guy from Ant-Man, isn't he?
Yeah, he was in Ant-Man.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, he said something, and I looked at him. I'm like, you're Baba Yaga man from Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, that is okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember who he was. I just remembered hearing he was in Ant-Man.
And I also think he's in Batman Begins. I think he's the Arkham patient that impersonates Harvey Dent. Like, where's Harvey Dent's name tag in Dark Knight?
Taika Waititi is on the cast list.
That's blasphemous. Pete Davidson's fucking blackguard.
Yeah, I've never. That's what I love about Suicide Squad is like
it's all the B and C list.
It's made for them to like if they get killed, no one cares.
Yep.
They don't show up again, and then John Cena, his name's Peacemaker. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Boomerang. He's another one that's back from the first one.
Yep. Yeah.
Fucking Thinker. Where is it?
Oh yeah, Thinker. Fucking Peter Capaldi. They got the 12th Doctor, and then it's like, I don't know, make him smart. make him the smart character.
Yeah, Sean Gunn plays Weasel.
Weasel.
Yeah, the guy's name's David Dastmalchian. Something along those lines. Yeah. He was in Ant-Man, Dark Knight Rises. Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was in Blade Runner. Oh, so yeah, that's all I have. Oh, he's listed to be in What If.
Probably something to do with Ant-Man then.
Probably. There's a whole Baba Yaga episode.
God, I hope so.
It shows up because What If is all animated, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll all be voice acting.
It's all voice acted. Yep. Oh. I'm excited for What If. I'm excited for What If. That.
Yeah, I think it'll be super interesting. Just as like a relaxing watch. Nothing we have to like. How does this affect the universe?
Right. Before we get too far away from it. Well, now that we're too far away from it. If this isn't the cast fucking with us, this wrap-up photo, if this isn't the cast and crew fucking with us, that could explain why we see Michael Keaton in the Morbius trailer and still see the Sam Raimi Spider-Man posters. Because there's set photos that show Sam Raimi Spider-Man, but then murderer across it. So it's still that like Peter Parker killed Mysterio from Far From Home. But we see Michael Keaton Vulture. So that's, maybe we're getting sort of all the worlds are colliding.
I'm really excited for Morbius, but at the same time, I think I'm going to be disappointed by it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's kind of just where I'm sitting with it.
Absolutely, I'm going to be disappointed by it.
So
it's a
I'm
Sony movie
hoping that's
without the
all
Marvel
just,
Studios
like,
hand. I'm gonna be
Easter
disappointed.
eggs and not like
No,
canon.
well, because like obviously these are still Sony characters. Like once
Yeah.
the 3-movie contract is up for Spider-Man, they go back to Sony. Sony's not going to reboot a 4th time just because they got their contract back. Like Marvel built up this. They're going to make reference to the Marvel universe, I think.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, I think this is how Sony's going to get out. This is how they're going to get these characters out. It's like we get some combined alternate universe that Tom Holland's going to go into.
Because they can reference the universe in general and not specific like Marvel property.
Right.
That could definitely work.
They'll move him into some alternate reality, and then that's where he'll live out his days, only making reference
they
to
get
this.
Him for every other weekend.
Every other weekend, they get him for specials. Underoos. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for Spider-Man. Like a
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland Spider-Man holiday special. That's
yes,
what I want.
Yes.
It's just exactly the Star Wars holiday special, but they play every character.
Softcore porn and all. you get Tobey Maguire with the VR goggles watching softcore porn. That's.
I also want Jesse Eisenberg to just show up as Mark Zuckerberg for like a frame.
I want Jesse Eisenberg to show up as Lex Luthor just for a frame.
Honestly, at this point, I'll just make it myself.
Yeah, let's just make the Spider-Man holiday special.
It'll just be a really quick slideshow.
Oh yeah. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm itching for some monkey. I think you switch gears.
I'm monkey itching.
I'm monkey itching. All right. If you want to send a message in Idiots Gaming real quick, get everybody rounded up.
I can't. You know I can't.
You know I can't. Fair enough. Okay, so we're gonna end this here. If you're still here, stick around. We're gonna start up Overwatch here in a little bit and get on with our regularly scheduled Overwatch Saturday. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Apparently, I had good theories tonight. Apparently, that's never happened before on the show because I had to explicitly be called out. So I'm excited.
You were hitting me with some good ones. Because we're usually on the same page because we read the same stuff.
Yeah.
And my brain was just.
Well, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Those were like top off my head. I did not read those.
I'm so proud of you.
Especially that Hydra one. That was like, as we were talking, I'm like, oh, they're Hydra. But yeah, we're gonna jump into Monkey. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. And we'll see you guys next week for regularly scheduled breakdown on Friday at 8.